Okay, that was season 3, episode 10 of Demon Slayer. Did you have a favorite moment?
I think that you'd be able to guess my favorite moment.
Iguro?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the socks.
Yeah,
that was my favorite moment.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think, okay, this is a serious question. This is a serious question. Right. I'm not going to go romance brained here, even though I want to.
Wait, you're not?
No, because I actually have a serious question.
All right.
In terms of narrative, which we like to talk about, what we think is going to happen, what would be the next move in the story. So, obviously, all of these arcs are highlighting Hashira. And so, we get Iguro at the very end of season 2 with Tengen. And Tengen's like, that guy that you don't like, you know, he could probably be a Hashira soon. And he's like, Tanjiro Kamado. And then we get him again here with Mitsuri at the end of this season.
Yeah.
Is this do we have to wait a long time to finally meet him? Is he the last Hashira we get? Or is he maybe the next one? Because it's been planted at the end of both season 2 and season 3.
Good question. I was thinking about this in a separate vein because we're close, right? We are defeating 4 and 5 right now.
Yes.
Let's say there are no more, like, there are no new upper ranks, like that are replacing 4 and 5. Mm-hmm. Then we only have Akaza, Doma, and Kokushibo to go, and then Muzan. Mm-hmm. Would it make more sense to you to, like, okay, we have 3 left and then Muzan? From a storytelling perspective, would we wait until next arc to get another, like, oh, here's a Hashira, we're gonna take down Akaza or Doma? Or would it make more sense to, like, go, like, okay, I'm thinking of this, like, we don't want a 4 and 5 to appear, right? Mm-hmm. This is our, like, chance. We might, like, all group together after this. This feels like we're, like nearing some battle.
So what if we all group together to bring joint strength that we're so close now to getting rid of all of the upper ranks and getting to Muzan?
From a storytelling, like, perspective, that makes the most sense to me, like, from the pacing that is Demon Slayer, rather than us either we suffer, like, a big loss somehow that puts us back in trajectory,
like
or
death of a Hashira?
Maybe even bigger, like
Master,
or like like Muzan pulls out, like, something we could never even see coming. Maybe he gets the blue spider lily, and
they
because
are looking for something
right now. We have so much momentum. We have Tokito defeating an upper rank by himself. We have we're about to defeat another upper rank with, like, a joint effort, but with the amount of Hashira we haven't even, like, been privy to knowing, like, like, what's his name? Genya's brother, like, the prayer Hashira. We, like, there are so many different Hashira that we could have similar arcs that we're having right now with Mitsuri and Tokito, like we did with Rengoku, like we did with Tengen. But with, like, the timing of how many upper ranks there are even left, it doesn't feel like it's just next season is going to be another iteration of us doing this, like, the same thing.
I feel like if it was similar to anything, it would be similar to the format of this season, which is one battle and multiple Hashira are in that arc or season.
Yeah.
Helping Tanjiro out.
I agree with you.
So, I mean, there is quite a bit of Hashira left, and we are close, as you say, in the numbers, you know. But the ones that are left are the ones that are even stronger than the 2 that we're dealing with now, which it might take 2 Hashira in joint effort to take down one of Akaza.
Yeah. I think that it's probably they're going to be honing in on the blue spider lily. We are going to somehow get information of that, and that's where we're going to, like, meet to battle or something.
Does Tanjiro get pronounced or become a Hashira before we go any further? Is this because obviously by the end of last season, I almost thought that was the next step, because Tengen was like, he's gonna be a Hashira basically to Iguro. So is this, like, the final, Master's gonna
I don't know.
Tanjiro's a Hashira?
This is, like, the point in a story where it's almost hardest or easiest to predict what's gonna happen next, because you don't know if they are going to add different elements into the story to more hurdles to jump over to even get to the top, because we're just, like, we're so close, right? I don't really know where it goes from here if it doesn't next season. Like, say, granted, I am kind of already determining in my head that we win this fight. But if we do win
without
this,
any losses.
Yeah, without any
feel
losses.
That there will be losses.
Hope not. If there aren't any losses and we win this fight, then we have 2 Hashira who are capable of defeating upper ranks by themselves, kind of. For Mitsuri's case, I think that she could. I don't know. Mitsuri's so fucking cool, dude. But then we have so many others who were, and Zenitsu and Inosuke, who were seemingly en route to become Hashira, like Tanjiro would be. I don't know if it'd be like, okay, you guys make Hashira, and then what, right? Like, it's hard for me to think that they would go anywhere but Akaza, Doma, Kokushibo.
Another element that makes it kind of hard to predict is that the stakes in the ending of last season were pretty high in terms of like injury and casualty. Both Inosuke's injuries, obviously, he's a mountain boy, so he dealt with that. And then Tengen retiring, the wives, everything. Tanjiro literally getting the weapon through his chin. Like, I feel obviously Tanjiro has this like really horribly broken foot. But the stakes, almost the pressure and the tension and the injury almost feels different than the end of season 2.
It feels like we as the Demon Slayer core are starting to get an upper hand. And this was their attempt, the demons' attempt, to really set us back by attacking the Swordsmith village directly. If they fail at that, it will really feel like we have like the upper hand. Yeah.
We were able to protect... I mean, they really thought that, like, if we get this, if we basically kill the swordsmith, if we ruin the village, if we find what we're looking for, then demons forever, upper hand. But you're right, that the tides feel like it's changed from, like, humans constantly living in fear of the demons.
Yeah. So, and because of that, it feels like it needs to go one of 2 ways. One, more directly to an ending of a series, which would be steps towards defeating the next 3 and focusing on them with that advantage feeling that we have. Or a blow to us.
Seeking them out?
Yeah. Or no, we can't get to where they are, right?
I meant seeking them out kind of like in a bait tactic.
Maybe.
Like, maybe we have knowledge of where they frequent. Obviously, we got, I think at the beginning of the season, sometime when we met the other upper ranks we haven't met yet, we saw, I think it was Doma go to this place where he put on a hat.
Yeah.
And it seems like he might live amongst humans, possibly. I took it as, like, cult leader. That's what I took it as.
Yeah, it did kind of feel a little culty.
So I'm like, does he, like, have all of these, like, servants that are humans? Like, what is his situation?
Good question.
But, like, maybe if he does have a place that he frequents and lives, then it would be easier. That maybe that is a tactic. Like, oh, we have the upper hand now. Like, go to them. Like, surprise that they'd never think we'd come for them, right?
Yeah, I'm with that line of thinking, but I feel like for the, Demon Slayers at least, but for them, I'm like, this is gonna, they're pretty desperate if they lose 2 more upper ranks here, right? Muzan's trying to, like, cook up something in his lab, but we're coming at him pretty quick.
He has a little lab.
Yeah.
He's like Dexter.
Like, okay, so we're trying to, like, let's assume for a second we win next episode. Next arc. Do you include Zenitsu and Inosuke again? If you do,
good question.
Where would you focus it? You talking about Doma there, it did make me think of the Doma and Akaza conversation that we had at the beginning of this season. And I'm like, okay, well, if Doma is defeated before Akaza is somehow, then Akaza would have so much, like, ammunition of being like, I'm the stronger one, Yeah. But then it's
Akaza's also such a question mark. I'm like, if there was going to be any demon in this story that was going to, like, switch sides, You know, if you had to pick one that we've met, I feel
Switch
like,
sides?
Yeah, like it just, obviously that's probably never gonna happen. It's like a wild, crazy thing that I'm saying. But it's like, if you were to have one of them narratively switch sides, I would believe it most if it was Akaza.
So like he's the demon that we agree is like the most sympathetic. Like we're able to sympathize with a little bit more and see like
even
more humanistic.
Even though we don't know a backstory to him.
Yeah, I'm with you there. But now like, I don't know. I'm like kind of like rethinking a bit, like, okay, maybe Doma and Kokoshibo are like a big joint effort, but I feel like Akaza needs to have so much attention.
It would be Doma and Akaza as the like they were in the same place at the same time.
I feel like I couldn't have it, like, or if they were, it like.
So you'd rather Akaza get news that Doma lost?
No. I need Akaza to have a very long, like hard fought out battle with Tanjiro and like maybe even Mitsuri, but Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke hopefully, but like the whole like Rengoku through line and Tanjiro yelling at him and throwing his sword at him in the woods, that needs to be met at some point in the future, and I think it needs to be like given its own time to be like.
You were right to say that we had a parallel to that Akaza running away scene with Tanjiro yelling at Hontengu here, where we get that little blip of Hontengu's memories and feelings. You were right that it was a nice parallel of like this evil creature that has caused so much havoc running away. There's just the image itself of that is just so frustrating.
Yeah.
And obviously creates a lot of anger, especially in Genya, picking up a literal tree out of the ground like a crazy person. He's so awesome.
I have so many questions about like the world too that I feel like it makes me at a point where I have no idea what's gonna happen next because of the information that I don't have answers to. Like it, so I've never been very into the Mortal Kombat world, but I did see this past live action movie that came out, and there was this like. The reason I'm saying that is the idea of even like Mitsuri having a mark on her that it seemed like it resembled a demon's crest mark, and it aligned with her powering up and or like at least showing more power that we got the internal monologue about, right? And the memories that motivated her. But I'm trying to understand, like, is it that these people are destined to be demon slayers? Like, is this like because we have Tokito, we have Tanjiro, we have Mitsuri now. I don't think Rengoku had any marks on him in his final moments when he like really went over the edge. But like, is this he
was a descendant. Like it was a bloodline job for him. Like Mitsuri, I don't think anyone in her family or Tokito, like they joined this. They were brought into this because of their talent.
Is it like a fated thing though? Like that these people who come together
has gathered this specific group
that will one day be able to defeat and end demons, and they'll all have a mark to prove their worth, or like to prove that like this is the, you know.
I do really wonder about the demon crest. Okay, so this is probably the most since season 1 that I have not only had kind of questions about different things in the world. Like I feel like obviously in first seasons you're always like, ooh, there's these things that you need to learn what they do, what they are.
Yeah.
Wisteria.
Whole world building and
this
like mysteries.
all the world building and the mysteries. And I had felt going into season 2 that we had kind of, already answered a lot of questions. And now we're getting these new elements introduced of things that obviously are specific to certain Hashira that are the focus of this season. And I'm like, so there's more to this world and the intricacies between demons and humans and their coexisting or lack thereof of this world that I had originally thought or knew. And it's also the most that I've ever wondered about the trajectory of the narrative.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like season 1, season 2, I was kind of like, oh, we're just, like, blipping around to all these different places and defeating all these different demons and getting stronger. And then now I'm kind of like, I think it's because the tides we feel like we have an upper hand to some degree as an audience after.
Which is like, because we could be totally off base even for feeling that. That's a possibility, but
but it could be intentional that they want us to feel that way, so that we're devastated for the last episode.
Yeah.
If they went the route of like someone dying next episode, I think I would be floored.
I like what you were saying though about this season feeling like similar to season 1 and how many questions, because it's like even Genya, right? Genya has this ability to devour a demon and then utilize that and like put it through his own body in forms of like power, and like he's able to like absorb it almost
because
temporarily.
The only like oddity that we had ever been introduced to in terms of like demons and humans, other than like Lady Tomio, was Nezuko.
Yeah.
And that was all origin story first episode that we're introduced to Nezuko. So it's like getting Genya in this season and then the demon crest for Mitsuri. I'm like, wait, what?
And the mark from Tokito. Like, I still wonder if Genya is able to do that from the demon interaction with his mother. I wonder how important bloodlines are for not just Tanjiro's family, but every Hashira that we've seen's family and their connections, because like we just said, Mitsuri with the demon crest mark looking thing, and
we got a little flashback to Mitsuri having a talk with Master, and he just said that she was blessed basically by the gods, and we didn't get like any more actual details of like the logistics, because if Muzan was the first demon, then Demon's Crest must somehow be related to him through some roundabout way, right?
Yeah, maybe, but she doesn't have a Demon's Crest.
It comes about on her body.
Well, it resembles a Demon's Crest. Right?
Okay, so that's a question then. Is it actually, or does it just resemble it? But what is it?
Yeah.
Is the main question.
I don't know.
Is it similar to like Nezuko's, the kind of like vine tattoos she gets when she kind of powers up?
It goes into the similar vein. Like I was like, how does Mitsuri find the demon slayers? Because obviously there was no direct like, oh, her family was like killed, or you know, like maybe we'll learn about it. But like
it's the secret-ish society, right? Like how do like, obviously it makes sense how Tokito found them. He was literally like saved by Master's wife.
But Master's wife even like came over to see Tokito like before the demon even attacked. So it's like, was there a prophecy that one day these people from these families would arrive, or that fighters would be reincarnated, and like the show of reincarnation was a symbol, or like, you know, it can go so many different routes. And like to be able to, like, if they ever answer those questions, that would require more times than just, oh, this fight's over, go attack the next 3, or you know?
I mean, the whole, like, Hanafuda earrings and Muzan fixating on Tanjiro also fits with that idea of, like, this is the time, and these are the people. These are the characters, these are the players in this final battle to defeat Muzan.
Huh. I had a couple things.
We haven't even, like, really gone into, like, things in the episode, but...
in terms of Mitsuri, I really like the backstory that we were given from her. Even before we got into it, we were told that she had a little brother, and it seemed like the little brother was about like 2 years younger than her, and I thought that was really interesting, and I was hopeful that we weren't going to get news that the little brother was killed along with the family.
Oh, like some trauma backstory.
Like everything, right?
Like
but
her family died by demons, and that's how she found the demon slayers.
Yeah. And I also love the dyed hair bit, and like how nobody knows how she got the hair, and then it was sad to see her dye it black, you know,
and then her
try to
parents
suppress
like
that.
peeking and watching. Like honestly, her parents just like her dad, as they were like laying in bed at night, being like, "Nope, you can stay." I was like, "That's such a dad." He probably like I think I thought at the time he probably put it into her head that, oh, don't get married until you find someone that can beat you, like, so that he hopefully she will never get married and he just be her daughter,
forever.
His daughter forever, and come back and live at home.
Yeah. This world is so freaking cool, dude. Like, one of my questions that I had was there ever another sword like Mitsuri's. Like, we had Tanjiro comment on, oh, the swordsmith who was able to craft this must be, like, incredibly talented, and Mitsuri's even more talented for being able to wield it, right? But, like, did Mitsuri come up with this idea and was like, can you make this? And then somebody took up that mission? Or was there, like, a through line of, oh, I know a sword that, like, I had heard about that might fit your personality?
We get that scene when she saves the chief.
Yeah.
And that he's clearly the one that seemingly that made her sword for her.
Yeah.
And that it seemed to me like there was a technique and he was the only one that remembered how to do it now.
Yeah.
And obviously you have to be a specific type of person to be, honestly, if I tried to use that, I would probably slice my limbs off just moving an inch away. So obviously a specifically talented person to wield it. But seemingly a technique that has been either long forgotten or hardly used, because like how many people could actually utilize a ribbon sword like that and not end up seriously wounded themselves from just trying to use it?
I'll say that Mitsuri's appearance exceeded my expectations this episode. I thought that like the perfect pristine Mitsuri was like the best character design of Mitsuri. The ruffled hair and everything.
When she
I was like
landed down and it was like smoke behind her, I was like, I thought Tengen's wives were hot. You know, like that's how I felt.
The mark is so interesting to me because it has like, it could just be like a flower or a random design, but it looks like there are hearts there too. And it's like, was there a love Hashira before Mitsuri? If there was, is that what's been passed down? Is like the heart, like it's like, it was destined to be, you know, I don't know.
I mean, love is kind of the complete actual opposite of demons and Muzan and his not even like the Hantengu and this final child demon of hatred, but like Muzan is so filled with hate and hatred that I'm like, maybe love is what conquers all. Maybe like Mitsuri, like the love Hashira, it is this like thing that you need for this final fight.
Yeah.
Is love. Love and friendship.
I hope that nothing bad happens to Mitsuri next episode, you know?
The other person that it could be is Ganya. I feel like Ganya and Mitsuri are, while I don't feel like anything bad's gonna happen, but if they chose to go the route of ending the season with like a death or a serious injury, someone retiring because of a serious injury, it would have to be one of the two.
Mm-hmm. It's just hard to not like stop my brain from going like, well, we're taking on 4 and 5. What's next, you know?
The sword that Haganeska's working on.
Yeah.
Does that enter back in and utilized at all? Or is that just something that
we're given that goes into next arc?
Is it yeah, exactly. Because we know he needed a bit of time, Haganeska, in order to work on it. And so is that just, wow, we saved the village and we actually also saved the fact that Haganeska had time to work on it, and then next arc we like pick up that sword and we go traveling?
Hell, does that mean that next episode Tanjiro needs to break his sword that he's using? So that there's that like void.
I don't think he'll be chased after by Haganeska anymore if that happens here.
You two-faced shameless liar. I've never once uttered a lie ever since the day I was born. I'm interested to get a potential backstory.
I mean, that is a very aggravating thing to have happen for someone to like think that you're lying when you're definitely not.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do at that point to
it's so helpless of a feeling, and I can definitely resonate with Han Tengu's kind of emotional character side of this whimpering little weak hatred being so protective over like the weak creature that is Han Tengu, of that helplessness, that frustration that you get when someone specifically is calling you a liar when you didn't lie. And maybe he was tortured because of it, he was used as a scapegoat because of it, he was exiled because it killed because of it, hurt because of it.
The idea of him being called a liar and being accused and like maybe even like you said, like tortured or like he was ostracized or punished for it in any way. Like I really like the idea of these emotions being like stemming from that desperation of I didn't do what you're telling me I did. I said I didn't do it. You didn't believe me. All these emotions like hatred, like fear, like all of these things are stemmed from like, well, they won't believe me. Fuck them. They suck. Everybody else sucks. But then you're just alone because they all believe that they're right when they're not.
And people that pick on weaklings are the true evil. And maybe even it got onto like a personification, like people are the evil, and that being a demon and having that like protection, self-protection of the incredible powers.
Anything else in this episode? I like density of muscles. That was so cute, that whole backstory with the arm wrestling and everything.
I know, as a kid. I think it was like especially cute because of her parents' like proud faces every time that she did something. It like warmed my heart a little bit. And honestly, there is one last thing that I really would care to talk about for her backstory, and that was the fact that she made the choice herself, that she would rather be loved being like her authentic self than have to deny all of the things that are so inherently her.
Yeah.
In order to have what she figured, oh, a girl's supposed to go get married and be someone's wife, right? Mm-hmm. And that she chooses in that moment as she's literally faced with a man that is actually going to marry her. Not one that's walking away and breaking off a proposal, but someone who, now that she's pretended to be someone she's not, she's actually going to get married. Like, It's right there in front of her. And I just loved that moment where she just realizes, like, oh, that thing that I tried so hard to get and denied so much of myself for, I'm going to have to do that every single day for the rest of my life.
Yep. I was a little surprised. Don't get me wrong. I was so happy that we got the Iguro moment, but I was surprised we didn't get any Rengoku interactions.
I am also surprised.
Because of the Tsugoku, right?
Yeah, I bet they bonded over their appetite and their love of delicious food.
I want to see like diners, drive-ins, and dives with just Mitsuri and Rengoku, you know?
Yes.
And like there would never be a bad episode because all the food's always good to them. Just like in real diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I also would love to see like baseball cards or like stat cards for each Hashira and see like agility, speed, power, like and like where each ranks separately. There was some feeling I got watching Mitsuri run. I was like, she is so fucking quick. She must be one of the quickest Hashira. Like, but I was like, there's no way. There's nothing to corroborate.
So now
with
you
that.
want those like stat comparisons.
Like who do we have in our arsenal right now, Hashira-wise, that, like, we have Snake, Wind, Prayer, we have Gyu, we have...
I mean, Gyu's top.
Shinobu. Yeah, Gyu is top. Gyu's great.
Honestly, if you got me a baseball card that had the stats of all the Hashira, and it didn't say Gyu top, I would be like, these are wrong. And then I'd, like, give them back to you.
Yeah. Gyu would, like... His card wouldn't be anything flashy. It wouldn't be a holographic, but there'd be so limited prints of it compared to everybody else.
Matte,
yeah,
very clean.
But the thing that would make it so cool is that there's like such a limited quantity compared to everything else, so they're more rare to find. That's him as a person.
He does have friends. I don't know what Shinobu's talking about. People like him.
I love those little interactions. I wish we could just get slice of life Demon Slayer sometimes. I love the characters in the show. All right, that's all I have you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time. Like, really went over the edge. Like, really went over the edge. Like, really went over the edge.
Like, really went over the edge.